Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan, the news read by Muhammad Zubair Khan. First, the headlines. Federal Cabinet, in its meeting in Islamabad today, approved first ever National Hazardous Waste Management Policy. Addressing the inaugural session of Turnaround Pakistan Conference in Islamabad today, Prime Minister termed political stability as vital to take the country forward. Minister for Religious Affairs says government is committed to providing all possible facilities to the pilgrims in Saudi Arabia. Washington-based independent watchdog committee to protect journalists has urged Indian government to immediately and unconditionally release journalist Muhammad Zubair. China has urged international community to take urgent actions to prevent Palestinian-Israeli issue from being totally derailed. In Colombia, 49 inmates have been killed in a riot at a prison in Talua city. Federal Cabinet has approved the country's first ever National Hazardous Waste Management Policy. This was announced by Minister for Information and Broadcasting Mariam Aurangzeb while briefing the media persons about decisions taken in Federal Cabinet meeting held in Islamabad today. Now the news in detail. Interior Minister Rana Sanaullah, Minister of Environment Protection Shari Rahman and Qamar Zaman Kaira were also present on this occasion. Giving details of the policy, the Minister of Environment Protection Shari Rahman said the National Action Plan for the implementation of the National Hazardous Waste Management Policy will be framed within 3 months. She said the implementation of the policy will help protect health of the people and country's environment. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has expressed the resolve to take the country towards economic stability in the next 14 months. Addressing the inaugural session of Turnaround Pakistan Conference being hosted by Ministry of Planning and Development in Islamabad today, he however stressed this will require political stability. He said we will have to rise above personal interests and take such long-term decisions which change destiny of the country. Shehbaz Sharif said Pakistan will receive $2 billion from the International Monetary Fund, but our ultimate goal is to achieve self-reliance as it only guarantees to independently take political and economic decisions. He expressed satisfaction that majority of the affluent class has accepted the super tax which will help generate 230 billion rupees. He assured that this money will not be spent on current expenditures but will be used for economic development. The Prime Minister asked participants of the conference to give suggestions for uplifting agriculture and agro-based industries and bolstering of exports. He said we want to end red tapeism and the culture of NOCs within a month. Speaking on the occasion, Finance Minister Miftah Ismail said Pakistan no longer faces the threat of default. He said we have the aim to reduce the primary deficit from 16 billion rupees to 125 billion rupees surplus during the current fiscal year. Miftah Ismail stressed that every Pakistani should become a taxpayer to put the country's economy on the right track. He categorically said that his government has taken difficult decisions and will not hesitate to take more difficult decisions in future as well in order to strengthen the economy. Pakistan has received the draft Memorandum of Economic and Financial Policies from the International Monetary Fund for the combined 7th and 8th reviews. Minister for Finance Miftah Ismail made the announcement on Twitter. The draft memorandum is a prerequisite for paving the way for moving towards striking a staff-level agreement. Minister for Religious Affairs Mufti Abdul Shakur says the government is committed to providing all possible facilities to the pilgrims in Saudi Arabia and taking bold steps in this regard. In a briefing meeting with Pakistan Hajj mission officials in Medina, he said that reduction in Hajj expenditure is a clear evidence to our efforts. He said that tremendous residential, food and transport facilities are being provided to Hajj pilgrims through special coordination with Saudi authorities, and the mission in Saudi Arabia is working tirelessly. Director General of Hajj Abrar Ahmed Mirza briefed the minister about efforts of the mission in the kingdom. Director Hajj Medina Ziaur Rahman was also present in the meeting. This is Radio Pakistan. Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, all parties Hurriyat Conference says people are living without basic human rights amid unrelenting cordon and search operations conducted by Indian Army in the Held Valley. In their separate statements in Srinagar, APHC leaders said killings, fake encounters, arrests and house raids have become order of the day, especially after revocation of Kashmir's special status by India on August the 5th, 2019. Similarly, Washington-based Committee to Protect Journalists, an independent watchdog body, in a statement urged Indian authorities to immediately and unconditionally release journalist Mohammad Zubair and cease harassing him in retaliation for his work. Mohammad Zubair was arrested by the Modi regime on yesterday. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, 2 police personnel and a polio worker were killed in an attack on a polio team in Datta Khel area of North Waziristan district today. According to details, the attack on the polio team was carried out by unknown gunmen during the ongoing anti-polio drive in the province. Chief Minister Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Mahmood Khan has strongly condemned the killing of the polio worker and security team of polio drive. He prayed for the eternal peace of the martyred souls and conveyed his condolences to the bereaved families. Mahmood Khan directed for immediate arrest of the culprits involved in the attack on the polio team. He also expressed determination to deal with the culprits with iron hands. Meanwhile, the anti-polio drive has been suspended as all the polio teams have been called off from North Waziristan district and the search operation has begun in the area. 13 people were killed yesterday when toxic chlorine gas escaped on the dockside at port of Aqaba in Jordan. More than 250 people were injured in the accident who are being treated for the effects of breathing chlorine gas. Pakistan has extended condolences over loss of lives as well as injuries in the tragic incident at Aqaba Port, Jordan. In a press release today, Foreign Office spokesperson Asim Iftikhar expressed deepest sympathies to the families of the deceased and prayed for the speedy recovery of those injured. He said Pakistan stands in solidarity with the brotherly people and government of Jordan in this moment of grief. China has urged international community to take urgent actions to prevent Palestinian-Israeli issue from being totally derailed. Addressing the United Nations Security Council briefing, China's permanent representative to the United Nations, Zhang Jun, expressed the concern over deteriorating situation in occupied Palestinian territory. He said continued expansion of Israeli settlements has encroached upon Palestinian land and natural resources, undermines right of the Palestinian people to self-determination. In Colombia, 49 inmates have been killed in an overnight riot in a prison in Tuluá city. In a statement today, head of National Prisons Agency said it was not immediately clear that what caused the riot. And now the weather report. Mainly hot and humid weather is expected in most parts of the country, while very hot in Upper Sindh and southern Punjab during the next 12 hours. However, rain thunderstorm is expected at a few places in Kashmir. And now once again, the headlines. Federal Cabinet in its meeting in Islamabad today approved first ever National Hazardous Waste Management Policy. Addressing the inaugural session of Turnaround Pakistan Conference in Islamabad today, Prime Minister termed political stability as vital to take the country forward. Minister for Religious Affairs says government is committed to providing all possible facilities to the pilgrims in Saudi Arabia. Washington-based independent watchdog Committee to Protect Journalists has urged Indian government to immediately and unconditionally release journalist Mohammad Zubair. China has urged international community to take urgent actions to prevent Palestinian-Israeli issue from being totally derailed. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.in.